You know, springtime is a great opportunity to go out into your gardens, look at your container pots that you have from last year, and really do some serious rejuvenation. As you're looking at this one here, we see a whole lot of stuff going on that really isn't all that pretty, but some of it is still alive and very viable for this upcoming year. Now, right here, I'm sorry folks, but this is just a weed, so we're going to have pull that right on out. And then we have a beautiful fuchsia that, you know, was marginally hardy and it didn't make it through this year. However, Judy, a lot of times with fuchsias, they're root hardy, but we don't want to wait and take the chance, so we're going to have to pull that up and take it out. Then we have this wonderful pansy over here, but you know, it's just starting to bud, so we know it's going to be the color that we want to keep with this new pot we're doing, so we'll just trim that back in a minute.
And you know, we have a coral bell right here that's kind of gotten tall, and now that we have a new idea about these, when they get too tall, you kind of pull it up and then plant it deeper, just like you do your tomatoes, and then it'll flush out with new foliage. There's also this plant on the front here that we don't remember what it is. It does have some green on it, but we're going to pot it up and put it into another part of the garden.
What do you say, Judy? Let's get to work.
I think we're ready. I love using this hori-hori knife because what you could do is just cut around the plant you want to save and just pull it right out.
It really does make it a lot easier than trying to dig up with the trowel. Now the weed, fortunately, it hasn't been, you know, a long time that it's been growing, so the roots aren't very bad. You almost got my finger there, Judy.
I'm sorry. I promise I won't cut off your fingers.
Now Judy's going to take this out. We're just going to give it a little yank up.
All right.
And I can take a look at it while she's going to start over there and see what I think about the root system.
Okay.
And you're digging out that to plant it deeper, right, Judy?
Right. And so this coral bell, I'm just kind of going around. I'm going to pull up this whole root ball. And then, can you give me maybe a couple handfuls of that black gold? I'm just going to put some new soil.
I can, Judy, but before I do that, I want to show everybody, look at this right here. What this tells me is this fuchsia is actually alive. The roots are still really firm
Look at that.
and white, so we're going to save this and put it in the greenhouse and see if we can't rejuvenate it for this spring and summer.
Ah, that's a great idea. I got some. Sorry about that. And so I'm going to have to borrow your pruners at some point, but what I'm going to do is I put some extra soil down there, and I'm just going to sit this down a little deeper and then put some soil around it. Then I'll come back in and trim all that other stuff off.
Now we're using black gold all-purpose, which is a great product for containers because it even has some fertilizer already mixed in it. Now for our real showpiece this year in this container, we are going to be adding a really beautiful Hellebore.
This is that pretty one. I love the color. It's a bright kind of chartreusey yellow, and it has some little speckles on it.
And a good root system too, it looks like.
It's really nice. Use this knife. You know, if something got too much roots, you just want to cut it across the bottom because you want to release those roots so they don't really choke the plant, and just kind of rough up the sides before you plant it. Wow,
there you go.
All right, I think it's going to fit in right there.
And then if you put all this back around, now the last touches for this pot are going to be some really lovely new primulas that we got. So these are going to have actually a white bloom eventually, but they come out blushed with a little bit of lavender. You know, and one thing you've got to remember when you're doing pots, don't be afraid to work on those roots. It's not going to hurt the plant, and sometimes you have to squish them a little to get them into the place where you want them. And I think if we put one more right there.
Yeah, there's a lot of nice roots on this. Just want to tease it out a little bit.
And that really is going to look beautiful.
It is. I like that you prune back this pansy too, because sometimes after the winter they get a little leggy, and that's not going to hurt them at all.
It really isn't going to hurt them. Now what will happen within just a couple of weeks, once the warmer weather really kicks in, this will fill in nicely, and then you can do the same thing again next spring if you want to put the Hellebore in your garden, if you want to replace this and change. It's very easy to do, and it's really a lot of fun.
It is. It's nice and fresh for the whole season.